How's it going, everybody? JP here, and welcome to 31 Days of Horror 2. We are currently on day number 2, and in case you don't know, this is where I attempt to watch and review 31 horror movies in 31 days, all during the month of October. The film that I'm going to be talking about today is Prison from the year 1988 with the tagline of Horror Has a New Home, and this film was put out by Scream Factory on Blu-ray, which is very awesome. This film was not available on Region 1 DVD before this release, so it's kind of interesting that this film, um, it was hard to see for a while because it really doesn't fit like that obscure, like, lost, not worth putting out type movie. It seems like this should have been put out a long time before Scream Factory put it out. Anyway, the story where it's set in Wyoming State Penitentiary, where a man is about to be put to death via the electric chair. Flash forward a few years, and the prison is being reopened because it was shut down. We have a group of new inmates arriving at the prison in buses. We kind of have our typical group of characters for a prison film. Of course, we have our lead character who's kind of like the hero guy who is very cliched for your main uh, character in a prison film. Because you get the sense that he's not nearly on the level as all the animals that surround him, and he's a better person than most of the people there, or all of the people there rather, and he kind of just either fell was in the wrong place at the wrong time, or something like that. He doesn't seem, he seems like a good guy basically. And he was a car thief. He meets a few other people, and basically, the guy who was executed at the beginning is haunting the prison. He wants revenge for something that you find out later in the film. It's basically a supernatural slasher set in a prison, which is kind of cool. I like the idea. I really like prison films, and obviously I like horror films. So mashing those two up is cool, and I would like to see more of these. However, this film is very like formulaic. It follows a very simple blueprint that even down to like the climax of the film. It just has that very cliched horror film vibe to it. But that doesn't make it completely bad because there is some great scenes around the formulaic story. There is likable characters for one, even though they are cliched. And you have some cool scenes. For one, you have it almost feels like almost like I kind of say this, it's kind of weird because Renny Harlin, the guy who directed this, directed A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, but some of the supernatural things going on almost reminds you of like a dream sequence, or a nightmare from the Elm Street series. There's scenes where like barbed wire is like wrapping around people and stuff, which is a cool scene. It kind of reminds you of something that would be happening in a Elm Street movie. There's a great scene where there's basically the guy's in the hole, and the cell just starts heating up, and it's pretty awesome. It's probably my favorite scene in the movie. Once again, has that like dream sequence Elm Streety vibe to it. So I could see why this guy Renny Harlin was picked to direct an Elm Street film. It just makes sense now. Um, I will say that there was a woman character who felt really unnecessary, and once again, very, standard formula why she was put in there, and it comes off that way too. Um, I almost wish there would have been a main villain. Like, you do have the guy who was executed, but I really wish we would have seen like a dark, madman type of just, violent person, or something being um, electrocuted, or put to death. I just, it would have made more sense to me, like him just like slaughtering everybody. But the revenge angle kind of works too, I guess. I don't know. I just kind of wish we had a character there because they don't really go into, they don't really develop his character at all. And I would have liked to see a more iconic, or maybe iconic's the wrong way, but a more fleshed out villain type of character. I would like to have seen a villain in this. Um, Other than that, though, I mean, it's a pretty fun movie for being, a standard run-of-the-mill average story. It does go above average with just the cool scenes around it, some decent characters, and some cool kill scenes, and some great atmosphere in the prison. The prison is, pretty much a character in itself. I forgot to even mention the prison. It's real cool. It really looks awesome. It is a real prison. I checked out some of the bonus features on the Scream Factory release because they usually do it so well. And they talked about how it was a legitimate prison in Wyoming, and it just fit perfect, and it does look great. It looks fantastic. Another cool thing, Tom Matthews was originally going to be cast as the lead character, and I kind of wish he would have been. That would have just made another cool horror film with Tom Matthews, and that would have been cool. I would have preferred to see him there than the Viggo Morrison guy, or whatever the heck his name is. But yeah, this is a pretty fun one. It definitely deserved a release. It's a pretty cool movie. It's definitely worth seeing. I would rate this film a 6.5 out of 10. Yeah, I'll give it that extra half. 6.5 out of 10. It's worth your time. Great release by Scream Factory too. So I like the cover art underneath and stuff. Really cool. So see you guys in day number 3.